Welcome back to Off Bar Podcast alongside Chris Will and Connor Ryan. My name is Rafael Dos Santos, and we are down to the final two groups of the World Cup.
Let's go. We're almost there. I'm excited.
Yeah.
The end. We're to the final. Heck yeah.
Group G, Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. I kind of feel bad every time I see a African team, like an African team that's not Senegal, because I just feel like for like the first time, no other team other than Senegal has a chance coming out of Africa. But we'll get to them in a second. Let's start with Brazil, who are the obvious winners of the group, right? They're winning the group.
Maybe the whole tournament.
Okay, thank God.
Connor does know something about soccer.
Yeah. Thank God.
Stacking that weakness.
Yeah, no like.
I'm not gonna like mess around with this.
No
one.
like
this is
Swiss
clear cut.
Swiss curveballs.
We're not saying this Canada thing. I'm not gonna be like Serbia.
No jokes being had with Serbia and Switzerland.
Brazil is obviously the strong one. I would say they're the strongest team headed into the world. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. They're the strongest team headed into the World Cup. In terms of not just their starting lineup, but in terms of depth. At every position, they just have. Not at every position. I'm not gonna lie. Fullbacks, they are lacking for the first World Cup ever. But other than fullbacks, they are stacked.
Yeah, I mean, I think at fullback still like you kind of can platoon like Lodi and like Tellez too, and then you have like Danilo on the right who's been playing pretty good for Juve, but it still is like a lacking. I see what you're saying. It's still a lacking
compared
position.
to like everybody else on their team, and I would say like other fullbacks on like top tier teams like Spain, Germany, like France, like those kind of teams that they're going to be competing against. They definitely have they're missing fullbacks.
I mean, we said similar things about Germany too, not having fullbacks.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, as I said it, I like realized that, but like Germany can work their way around it with like maybe playing 3 at the back and playing 5 in the middle or something, with like Robin Gosens or something.
Yeah,
and, like,
but I don't see Brazil doing like that.
I don't see Brazil
thing.
doing any of that. Brazil's gonna play like 4-3-3 for sure.
Yeah.
But headed into the World Cup, Chris Will, how's Brazil looking?
I mean, Brazil's looking probably the best out of any team coming into this World Cup, with the exception of maybe Argentina. We talked about the streak that's going for them. But at the same time, Brazil has not even tied a game since January 27th of this year. They have won every single game they've played. So most recently, they beat Tunisia 5-1, beat Ghana 3-0. And that last tie was 1-1 against Ecuador, again, January 27th. And then they tied Argentina before that one in November a year ago. In World Cup qualifying, they went 14-3-0 with 35 goals in favor of them in goal difference. So even with the Argentina team having not lost a game, they still beat them in qualifying to come out first in World Cup qualifying. So yeah, this Brazil team is kind of loaded, and they as a country are in good form coming into this World Cup. But even their players on the club level as well. You got guys like Jesus that are playing well. Like, this team is scary.
When you said as a country, I thought you were going to talk about like their political like situation.
I realized like
as a country, they're
actually in a pretty good place right now.
Their president, but
no coups. No,
I think they're going through political turmoil.
Yeah, just kidding. They actually aren't in a good place as a country right now. But
they're like,
a World Cup win should satisfy all. But this Brazil team obviously lost in the final against Argentina in the Copa America. They came out first place in the World Cup qualifiers coming out of South America, and we all know the names in terms of who's on the squad. Looking at starting from the back at goalie, you talk about Ederson and Alisson. We're already kind of used to that.
Who do you start? Like what? How do you decide?
That's Alisson.
So I think that, in my opinion, Alisson is the better goalkeeper. He just makes the So in my to me, there's two kinds of goalkeepers, and Real Madrid is the perfect example. So you had Keylor Navas, who's in my opinion, a reflex goalie, right? So a guy that's good to have on like counterattacks, a guy that's gonna make saves from close range that he's not supposed to make. Courtois, who's the goalie now, is not that kind of goalie. Even though Courtois, it's kind of hard to put him in that position because Courtois is so good that he is that kind of goalie now, but traditionally he's not. He's 6'6". He stops like long range shots. You know what I mean? So there's the smaller goalies that are reflex goalies, and then there's the bigger goalies that are like long shot stoppers. They play for defenses that don't allow you to get that close. So who do you start? I think Alisson is the better goalie in terms of who's gonna make saves that they're not supposed to, who's gonna take away expected goals. But Ederson's the better like distributor of the ball. Ederson's more safe when it comes to how he plays, where Alisson's like the bigger risk taker. But if Brazil's gonna be playing like really attacking and they're gonna be getting countered, I would start Alisson, and I would just start Alisson because I like Alisson better. But Connor, were you gonna say something when he asked who you?
I was just saying, like, I think Alisson's clear.
I don't think he's clear, but
Not like clear, but like I don't think this is like this like ultra hard choice. Like just to me, like Alisson, especially with the play style that Brazil has too, and you have like Thiago Silva, Marquinhos back there, two very capable passers. Like you don't need Ederson as much back there. He's a lot more like distribution focuses like a keeper. He's a lot more like get the ball out, play it out of the back. I think Alisson in that team with like the reflexive goals is like what you're saying. Like he's more like reflexive, like crafty sort of like keeper. Like I think that's to me with the way they play, with his talent. Like I think he's the clear choice to me. I don't think he's like far and away. Like I think they're probably like two of the top like 5 goalies in the world, but I would still like I don't think it's this like big choice. Like I wouldn't if I'm the coach. Like I'm not like questioning that at all. I think it's Alisson.
Yeah, it's like it's a stylistic thing. It's not this guy's better than this guy. I mean, in my opinion, I think Alisson's better, but it's just Ederson's put in the same conversation because Ederson has a better defense at Man City. Like he concedes less goals, which is what goalkeepers are measured by. So, but I think Alisson's better, and we saw this when we talked about like when we did our end of the season things for the Prem. I think who was it, dude? The only goalie that was anywhere near Alisson in terms of taking away expected goals, it was like one of the small teams. It was like Jose Sa or something. Because I only remember the La Liga one because I know Courtois was the best goalie, but Ledesma was like on him in every single stat. And it's always like that. It's like a smaller team goalie that's always good. Like, for example, looking at the Prem stats right now, Ederson's he's tied with Nick Pope for most clean sheets in the Prem. But obviously, and I already knew this before I even looked at it, the goalie with the most goals prevented in the Prem is Alisson with 6.6, and the nearest guy is 4.5, Jordan Pickford. Like Ederson's nowhere near that list, so I would put Ederson to to answer that question in a rather long fashion. I would put Ederson, not Ederson, my bad. Alisson.
I was gonna say we just took over.
yeah. Alisson. I would start Alisson. Alisson
Yeah.
better. I would start Alisson. But who do I think they're gonna start? I don't know. They always go for Ederson over Alisson.
But I don't even know if it'll be one of those things where like, are they gonna alternate them? Like, I don't know. Weird.
They could, but it's always Ederson.
Yeah.
I always feel the opposite. I always feel like I see Alisson starting for them.
I always see Ederson in like big tournaments, but like in their last game against Tunisia, they played Alisson for that 5-1 win.
Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. In the 3-win against Ghana, they also played Alisson. So maybe headed into World Cup, Tite is favoring Alisson, which he should, because Alisson is the better goalkeeper in my opinion. But moving on to the back line, what were you just talking about? I think Brazil lacks the fullbacks that they've always had. A right back. I mean, who's playing right back for Brazil? Dani Alves, bro.
Probably Militao, right?
I would play Militao, but is Tite gonna play him at right back? I think he would. Again, in my opinion, I think they should play Militao right back, Thiago Silva and Marquinhos at center back, and Renan Lodi at left back, I guess. Moving on to the midfield, the thing with Brazil is with such a talented attack, are you going to play Neymar at left wing or are you going to play him at attacking mid? If you play him at attacking mid, then you only have 2 more spots to fill in that midfield.
Casemiro, Bruno Guimaraes. Play that 4-2-3-1.
Guimaraes.
How was that? Guimaraes?
Yeah.
What'd I say?
Ramirez. Like Ramirez.
That's like I have like a Florida accent. Like that's like my.
No, you
That's
did not.
I said that in like Orlando speak.
I guess. I don't know what Orlando speak sounds like.
If you were saying that in Orlando to like non-Brazilians, they would probably be like, who?
Bro, the chances that anyone even knows who that is, even if you pronounce it well, anywhere in the United States, it's
That's
so
one of those like
slim.
you know Prem if you know like who Bruno is at Newcastle.
Yeah, the question is, are they going to play Neymar at Cam because they're so stacked in the front 3? And if they do, who are they going to play next to him? Because he's going to be attacking all the time, so they need some defensive guys. So it's going to be Casemiro and Bruno Guimaraes. It could be Fred. It could be Fabinho.
I don't think Fabinho's in form though. Like I mean, he's not even featuring for Liverpool right now. He's healthy.
But I don't know. I think as a Real Madrid fan, maybe I'm biased, but I'm throwing Casemiro in there no matter what.
I would
play. I would play Neymar at Cam.
I would.
And then next to them, I would throw Bruno in there, just like what Connor said in terms of form. If it doesn't work out, bro, Fred is right there. As much as I dislike Fred, I cannot lie, he has been playing so good. Even though it doesn't show up in his stats, he's been playing like pretty good this season.
Yeah.
But that might just be because he's been so bad in every other season that when he actually plays the sport, he's good.
But look at this attack. Though.
Yeah, moving on to the attack.
God.
It's kind of not fair whatsoever.
Dude, that's ridiculous that some of these guys literally are not going to play.
So in a 4-3-3, right? At left wing, I'm starting Vinicius. That's not even a Real Madrid thing. I'm starting Vinicius.
Correct. As you should.
In terms of depth, you have Martinelli behind him. And yeah, I would close it at that for left wing. I think Martinelli is the only other left winger to have. At striker, you have Gabriel Jesus, Firmino, Richarlison, who is injured, but they still have him, Mateus Cunha, and then you have Gabriel from Flamengo, who people don't pay much attention to, like South American soccer, but I'm pretty sure they just won the Libertadores. And he does play for the Brazilian team, so. And they could definitely play him in the World Cup. And then when you look at right wing, they have Rafinha, they have Anthony, they have Rodrigo, bro. And Rodrigo could also play striker. That is so crazy.
So what's your front three?
My front three is Vinicius, Gabriel Jesus. No, to be honest, here's the thing. So you can't put a bunch of playmakers together.
I think if Richarlison is healthy,
I would play Richarlison. I would play Vinicius, Richarlison, Rafinha. I know that you guys are not gonna like the Rafinha pick, but I think Rafinha is really good.
I think so. I agree.
He hasn't worked out as much as people want him to at Barca because they have like Dembele there, but
out of position and stuff. Like it's kind of.
I promise you, Rafinha is definitely that guy.
I think Rafinha and Rodrigo kind of switch off at this World Cup though. And I think they both.
I think Rodrigo has had such a breakout last 2 years for Real Madrid that he could definitely take people's spot, like as striker and at right wing for some games.
Yeah.
You think Anthony's kind of the odd man out in that right wing spot?
I don't know. I think when you play for Manchester United, you are going to get you're gonna get the nod to start. Like they'll have to figure this out in the group, and they'll probably get a really easy
like platoon.
Like 3 games.
Yeah.
So they'll have to figure this out, especially in like training as well, like who they're gonna start. None of these guys were like that good. Like, or I was gonna say alive, but you know what I mean. Like none of these guys were like were anything last World Cup other than like Neymar, Firmino, Gabriel Jesus, I guess. But even then, they weren't as good as they are now. Only Neymar was like a really big star in the last World Cup, but. So there's no like legacy, like, oh, you have to start because you've been with us this long, like that.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting because they don't have any turnout games scheduled. So their next game is going to be against Serbia to kick off their World Cup.
And that'll be the biggest game in that group, in a way. I mean, Switzerland's a big game too.
Yeah.
But.
I mean, they close with Cameroon, so they have Serbia and Switzerland first.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess with this Brazilian team, it all depends on the injuries. Like I said, I would like to have Richarlison at striker, Vinicius left wing, Rafinha right wing, give Rodrigo the play time, give Gabriel Jesus the play time, and see what you can do. It's just, if you're gonna stick Gabriel Jesus in there, you cannot play Vinicius next to Gabriel Jesus because Vinicius can't shoot, and he's gonna be looking to pass to someone, and he's gonna pass to a playmaker because Gabriel Jesus is a way better playmaker than he is a goal scorer. But maybe it works because maybe Vinicius destroys everyone in front of him and then gives Gabriel Jesus a tap in, and Gabriel Jesus is going to score a tap in. That's how good this Brazilian team is. Is basically what I'm trying to say, bro. They can do whatever they want. They're still going to score.
Yeah, that's.
And it's not their attack is so stacked and the midfield's and the defense is nah, dude. It's like their attack is stacked. Their midfield is so solid, especially since they've thrown Neymar back there, and now their defense is also disgusting. And then they have like two of the best goalies in the last like 5 years, bro. Like what? Two of them, not one, two of them.
Yeah, definitely my favorite to win this tournament, I think.
I would say, as you can see in my jersey, I think that they're my favorite to win. I'm from Dominican Republic, so I inherited Brazil like back in 2013 as my favorite team, and yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. Brazil's my team, but it's a valid pick as well. Like I wasn't picking like some giant. I mean, there are soccer giants, but in 2014 they got smacked.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've lived through them getting
That
obliterated.
was so sad.
And you stuck with them. So for that, we give our respect.
Yeah, I was mad when they broke like Neymar's back.
That was the first soccer game I ever watched.
Best?
The first.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, it was the first soccer game I ever watched.
I have
It was,
no idea what the first soccer game. Oh, I watched like
Germany 7-1.
I don't remember what game it was exactly, but I know it was Uruguay in the 2010 World Cup because I remember watching Forlan and being like, dude, that guy's disgusting.
I think the first game I watched and like definitely remember watching that game was the Barcelona United Champions League final, whatever year that was.
2012.
Was it 2012?
2012.
No, 2012 was the.
No, it was like 2009.
I was gonna say I thought it was earlier than that.
It was 2009. Watch.
Just were you like 7?
It's just the first game I remember.
Yes, when
Yeah?
Messi scored the header.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
2009.
Okay.
Yeah, I was not watching soccer back then.
Oh.
I mean, I could not have like told you too many details about it, but I just remember like it was a big game. I saw it on, and I recognized the teams because I'd heard of them.
Yeah.
Play FIFA or whatever. In the end, I don't even think it matters who they throw up there. Whatever combination they throw, I think they're gonna win this group.
Yeah, clear cut
I mean,
winner.
I don't really think it matters. I mean, we can look at this Serbia team.
Serbia, like you said, they open up against Brazil, but they're playing. I didn't even know this was a country, bro. Bahrain.
Bahrain.
It's probably like Bahrain.
No, it's pronounced Bahrain.
Bahrain.
Yeah, Bahrain.
Yeah, I got that. You see that, Connor? Pulled it off.
Bahrain.
Bahrain.
I
It
could've
looks like the
gotten
Qatari
No, I could
flag.
have gotten Bahrain.
To be fair, I would have put money down that you would have gotten this because it's just exactly how it looks. Is
Yeah.
how you say it.
It is the pronouncer.
You can't throw any squiggles though. If you start throwing squiggles over it, that's where I go.
But yeah, Chris, how is Serbia looking heading into this World Cup?
Okay, so I was talking to Connor about this earlier that like I was just very confused as to how Serbia really qualified for the World Cup because they're not even in like the UEFA Nations League. They're in League B like already. It wasn't like they were just demoted like some of the other teams were. They were just there to start. They went 4-1-1 in their group in League B Nations League. With wins against Norway and Sweden. So they really haven't even played like really good competition in a while. And like that was them losing to Denmark and then losing to Norway, if you want to count that. They played Portugal last November and actually won 2-1, but that's like the best team that they've played in the past year. So I think they're in for a very rude awakening when they played Brazil as their first game in this World Cup.
Hey, bro, they beat Norway. Norway has Erling Haaland, bro, and Odegaard. They have Sorlot as well, El Yunuzi, but that's stretching it a little bit. But yeah, I mean, their squad is good.
I do like their squad.
Their
though.
squad is
But
good,
Then,
like you
yeah,
guys-
because
you
then
guys
I
are
looked
saying.
at their squad
Yeah.
and like their attack is like pretty impressive, but it is a lot of the same exact position, like very similar styles.
Yeah.
That I don't know how they're gonna work together.
And it is weird too, because like the way they play with like one striker, and all their attackers are strikers. For the most part. It's not just like an attacking mid, but like outside of that, like you kind of have to have like Mitrovic and Vlahovic together to like really have a chance to contend with this team. In my opinion, that's the way they play. They don't have that.
Well, in their last game against Norway that they won 2-0, they did play a 3-5-2 with Mitrovic and Vlahovic up top.
Which I'm excited to see that if that's what they pull out.
I mean, that's what they should, because
That's
Luka
play
Jovic
him.
it has not been Luka Jovic since 2018. Yeah, bro. And the guy that's carrying Chris through the fantasy right now, 12 games and 9 goals, Alexander Mitrovic.
Let's go.
What a lord.
Yeah.
But-
All I'm saying is, I had some great sleeper picks, but
Mine were better. It's all good.
my big name picks were horrible. Horrible.
Who did you draft first?
I think my first pick was Raheem Sterling, and
He started off really well. Though.
started
Yeah.
great. He hasn't done shit since. But the picks of Trossard and Mitrovic have been great for me.
Listen, bro. Not everyone can be like me, you know. The guy that supposedly didn't know anything about the Prem, you know. First pick, Harry Kane. Second most points in fantasy, which is expected. But Trippier is like top 5 in points.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
My Shar pick was good, but now he's hurt. So
But yeah, back to the Serbian squad. We expect them to play Alexander Mitrovic up top with Dusan Vlahovic. They're both playing really good. Luka Jovic could play, I don't know, third fiddle to that, I guess, in some way.
you can get their water
Super
for them.
sub.
Dusan Tadic will definitely make that team. I think Filip Kostic is probably my favorite player on this team. Milinkovic Savic is really good as well.
Fantastic.
Other than that, where's Ilicic from? Is he Croatian? Oh, he's like from Slovenia.
Yeah, he's from a weird one. I think he's like
He's
kind
from-
of he's kind of retired.
He's
now,
from
too.
Slovenia. Yeah, dude. What happened to him in the like Euros? What was it? In the Euros, was it? That was so sad. Where he was like super duper in form with Atalanta. He was supposed to play for Slovenia, and then like he caught his wife cheating on him, and he became so depressed he couldn't play.
Yeah.
That was so. I think it was in the last World Cup.
Since then he came back, played like 2 more seasons for Atalanta, but I think he only played like 20 times.
It was so bad.
It's sad. He lost his passion.
Women aged. All right. Yeah, but looking at the rest of the midfield, Nemanja Maksimovic from Getafe, really good player, solid player. Uros Rasic used to play for Valencia. He plays for Braga now. The problem with this Serbian team is their defense is how can I put this? Not good. They're not good.
No.
It's looking like not good whatsoever.
So they are going to hope to score more goals than they give up, and that's how you win.
They do have a good goalie
The game.
though. Michael Dimitrovic plays for Sevilla. He used to play for
I picked him up in the La Liga fantasy.
Eibar. He used to play for Eibar. He used to be so good for Eibar. He was so annoying because Eibar was always bottom of the table in La Liga, and then Real Madrid would play Eibar, and then he'd get like 10 saves, and then we'd like tie with them. But now he plays for Sevilla. He barely plays because they have Bono, who plays for Morocco. But with that being said, this Serbian team is pretty good. Are they like Brazil? No, but can they make it out of the group? Of course. Especially with Mitrovic. But Mitrovic is so in form. I would not doubt him being the highest goal scorer in the groups. That is such a take. He's going to be the highest goal scorer in the group stage.
Like
The group stage.
just all the groups, right?
In the group stage, yeah.
Yeah,
In the group stage,
I
he's
think-
going to have the most goals out of
Is it
everyone.
good?
I
chance at it.
honestly think that is fair.
That's fair. I want to say it's fair. I think that's like a.
He has a good shot.
It's a great. It's not a diss.
It's a take.
It's a take.
It's a take. Not one that I am blatantly like. That's not going to happen though. I
Yeah.
think it could. I think it very much
Could
could.
definitely happen. I mean, even against Brazil, if any, like you'd think that if Serbia sneaks a goal past Brazil, it'll be Mitrovic, and then
It
you
would-
just know they're
yeah.
gonna like. It's likely that they score against Cameroon, and it's likely that they score against Switzerland.
Yeah, like when Serbia loses to Brazil, like 5 or 6-1, you know the one will probably be Mitrovic. So
Watch them beat Brazil. If any team's gonna beat Brazil in this group, I'm gonna say that it's.
I would
You're
agree.
not feeling
I
Switzerland.
would agree. I think Serbia's offense could do it. I don't think Serbia's offense with the combination.
I don't know, dude. I'm gonna go against both of you, and everything I just said in a way. But
Really,
I think that Switzerland has a stronger team than
Ooh.
Serbia.
It's more balanced.
Yes.
Switzerland had a really good Euros. This is what you guys are forgetting, bro.
It's because Jan Sommer is like the
He is so
Ochoa
He's
of-
no Jan Sommer is
this
what
tournament.
you think Neuer is. What everyone thinks Neuer is, Jan Sommer is. That's my take.
What does that even mean?
What people think that Manuel Neuer is what Jan Sommer is.
I will say he.
What
does
do
own
you
the
think
Euros.
that we think Neuer is?
Remember when you guys were saying that in the last like 5 years or like something like that, and that was like last spring. So in the last 5 years, Neuer's been better than Ter Stegen. which I don't agree with that. I think Ter Stegen's been better than Neuer in the last 5 years.
Yeah. I don't think I was on this pod, but I agree.
Everyone was saying that Manuel Neuer was better than Ter Stegen in the last 5 years,
No.
and I didn't think so.
If
And
you
they were,
did the 5 years before that last 5 years, maybe, yeah.
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 Well, I agree with that. But the reasoning was that Neuer was better because he was a starting goalie for Germany, which meant nothing to me because the manager for Germany all this time has been the same manager that Neuer came up with. Like, of course he's gonna start. The guy that won him a World Cup, like I would do the same thing too. But going back to this, I'm saying that Jan Sommer is what people think Neuer is. Like in the last, I don't know if 5 years, but the last like 2 or 3 years, maybe even 4. I forget like what year Mönchengladbach was in the same group as Real Madrid. Jan Sommer was disgusting. He is so good. I would agree. He's like Ochoa. He's like the European Ochoa. The saves he makes
shows up
are disgusting, bro.
And then you just wonder why he's still playing at Borussia Mönchengladbach.
But yeah, what I'm trying to say is that not people, but you guys said that Serbia might be like the second strongest team in this group. But
I wouldn't say like they're just far and away the second best because, I mean, transitioning over to Switzerland, their last 3 games were all wins. They beat the Czech Republic 2-1, they beat Spain 2-1, and they beat Portugal 1-0. They didn't come out of their group in Nations League with those teams because they had lost to all of them previously, but they are on a good tear recently, and they've showed that they can play positively against teams that on paper should be much better than them. So, I mean, they ended up only coming a point short of Portugal and a point short of Spain and 2 points short of Portugal to get out of that group. But
yeah, and if you go back to the Euros, I mean, you're talking about a team that beat France in the round of 16 and in penalties, probably off of a Jan Sommer save, and then they beat Spain. Oh no, they went to penalties with Spain in the Euros, and they ended up losing. But quarterfinals in the Euros, I mean, this is a strong team. Yeah. And South American teams struggle against European teams because of the size all the time. And looking at their team, I mean, we already talked about Jan Sommer, who was injured, and now I feel like we've been talking about Jan Sommer, and then he's gonna end up being out for the World Cup. But he had an ankle injury October 19th, and he's expected to return mid-November. So that's technically right on time.
yeah,
But backup goalie Movogel, I don't know how to say that, but I know he used to play for Leipzig. But they will be expecting Jan Sommer to come back for the World Cup and for him to be part of that squad and probably their captain, best player on that team in my opinion. In terms of defenders, I mean, there's a lot of names I recognize because the Swiss team has been playing together for a long time. But dude, why is everyone injured? Fabian Schär for Newcastle.
I don't think his is a long term. I think he'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they got Manuel Akanji, who now plays for Man City.
How much is he playing for them?
He's played left back more than he's played like center back for them.
He's played 6 games for them.
Yeah.
Out of what, 12 so far? Or something?
I think
12,
so.
12 league games?
That's because of some injuries. Like Diaz has been hurt for them. From Dish has been hurt for them a lot, but
he's played 6 games. They got Nico Elvedi as well. I recognize that name. They got a guy I picked up in the La Liga Fantasy, Eray Comert. He has played 9 games for Valencia. He's done really well for them under new management. They have FIFA legend and Babu, a right back, plays for Fulham. That's crazy. I don't know if he even played for. He probably doesn't play at all. 5 games.
he comes off the bench.
5 games, 1 assist though.
He got benched by Kenny Tete.
And Ricardo Rodriguez, who's actually from Spain, but at left back,
You're telling me Rodriguez is not like pure Swiss?
I'm pretty sure he's
Ricardo's not.
No, that was a joke.
I'm pretty sure he's
It's
from
just
Spain.
the one that stands out so much when you look at the Swiss.
Oh, have you ever seen like before all the stuff in Ukraine went down, like all the Brazilians that turned into Ukrainian players? Like, you know how Shakhtar has like a bunch of Brazilian players?
Yeah.
They nationalize or like naturalize themselves into Ukrainian citizens and change their name to something that sounded exactly like their Brazilian name.
Really?
I wish I had like an example.
David Nerkolenko.
No, it's like it's not that bad. It's like let's say his name was like Diego in like Brazil, they'll like split it. They'll go like Die space go. It's like the funniest thing. But going back to Switzerland, or not Switzerland, yeah, Switzerland. Hey, bro, Chicago Fire FC.
I was gonna say the
Xherdan
legend.
Shaqiri.
We
The
finally get an
MLS
MLS shout.
representation.
Finally
Let's
get an MLS shout out on
Yo,
the
29 matches, 7 goals, 6 assists. I told you he was gonna be better than. How's Douglas Costa doing? I said he was gonna be better than Douglas Costa in the MLS.
Yeah, Douglas Costa's been so bad.
He's just not.
He's been really bad.
I knew I was right, dude. Xherdan Shaqiri is such a baller. I love him.
Yes.
He's a little bit of a firecracker in the sense that him and Granit. Dude, this team has Granit Xhaka. This team is definitely better than Serbia.
Yeah.
This team is definitely better than Serbia, but maybe I'll be wrong. But and they have Zakaria, bro. That midfield is stacked. Hey, bro, dude, we should do a episode about Lazio. That's so crazy. I didn't know any of that.
That Lazio backstory.
The Lazio backstory. Do you know Lazio backstory?
Yeah, you did. I posted a TikTok about it. Like, you talked about it briefly, about Mussolini and all that.
Dude, that's Mussolini's team. That is so crazy.
His grandson still plays there.
His grandson plays there, bro.
Yeah.
And dude's name is like some crazy
It's something
it's
Mussolini.
like Romano Mussolini. Like it's such a dude. That's such a crazy name. But yeah, Shaqiri. If he scores, I swear, I hope he does it. There's nothing more classic than watching that. But next to him, Granit Xhaka, who is so informed, bro. I cannot believe that it is even coming out of my mouth. Granit Xhaka is so informed for Arsenal. He scores like every other game. Then they have Gibril So, who plays for Frankfurt, who are playing really good as well. Made it out of their group in the Champions League. Denis Zakaria, who plays for Chelsea.
Finally debuted over the weekend, was incredible for us. Actually, not over the weekend, on Tuesday, but very, very good. Like, played really well. Was very impressed by him. I think he really tear it up for Switzerland.
He is pretty good.
Yeah.
Their problem, I guess, in a way, at least as compared to Serbia, is that their attack is not that great. But
Seferovic is still playing.
that is crazy. I remember he was tearing it up at Benfica. But they have Brio and Bolo, was supposed to be like what Mbappe is now. 25 years old, 13 games in the Liga, and 6 goals, 2 assists. He was really good in the Euros, I remember that. But that's the problem that they have. Their attack is not the strongest, but their midfield is really strong. So I expect great things out of Switzerland, and I would put them above Serbia, but we'll get there when we make our predictions. I've realized that I can't make my predictions until I sit there and go like, this game, this is gonna happen, and then Chris does the math, and then I'm like, oh, well, yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
And then he does the math and realizes he has like 3 teams that are all 9 points clear. And
Dude, oh man, the one where I had like 3 teams on the same amount of points is so crazy. I hope it works out.
I'm sitting here like, wait,
I forgot which one.
you
it
have this team beating this team, but then also beating this team. Yeah, no, it was bad.
Yeah, there's one group where I have 3 teams like tied. I forgot which one it is.
You gotta like flow chart Rafa's picks on these groups.
Yeah.
Because he like maps it out too, like tell you like this match.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
But moving on to Cameroon, this is the last team.
Buemo Golden Boot.
Cameroon,
Cameroon.
hey, bro,
And Buemo
43rd in the world. How's Cameroon doing headed into this World Cup?
Hey, not great. They lost 1-0 to South Korea before also losing 2-0 to Uzbekistan. But the one game of note, I would like to point out the 8-6 thriller against Burkina Faso in AFCON qualifying. 8-6.
Hey, bro. The team is not looking that good.
No, but at least they were smart enough to schedule 2 World Cup tune-up matches against Jamaica and Panama. Maybe they get a win, because I don't think they'll get one at the World Cup.
It's totally possible, though, looking at this team. Goalie, they have Andre Onana, who starts for Inter. He's a really good goalie. The problem is this defense that I can't name a single player from.
Yeah.
You're not a Philadelphia Union guy?
Not at all.
You don't know
Oliver.
Olivier Mbezo?
How do you say that
What?
perfectly?
Coming off the bench for Philadelphia
How do you
Union.
say that perfectly?
Because I'm an MLS writer, sir.
But
Just wrote about him.
God forbid you have to
Okay.
say like Federico Valverde or something. Valverde? Jesus Christ. But no, I'm not a big Philadelphia Union guy, but are you a Seattle Sounders fan? Can you say that name?
I'm actually kind of an Austin FC guy.
Just
'cause I have a t-shirt.
Cholo. But I mean, in the midfield, I can name some guys here. You got Gino Nana, good old FIFA 22 legend. His Player of the Month card was disgusting. They have Andre Frank Zambo Anguissa, who used to play for Villarreal, made it all the way to the Champions League semi-final. Don't you ever forget that. That wraps it up for their midfield, but their attack is not even that bad.
No, not too bad.
They got Choupo-Moting, who's on fire.
Yeah.
7 games in the Bundesliga, 3 goals, 2 assists. He scored against Inter recently. He scored a banger. Wasn't it like a laser against Inter?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
It was like a top left corner laser against Inter. He also scored against Barca. But he's in form heading into the World Cup. They also have Nkudu, who used to play for Spurs. I remember that. They got Carl Toko and Kambi. I really like that guy. He used to play for Villarreal as well. 13 matches in Liga and 4 goals, 1 assist. Their attack is pretty good. The problem is that their defense sucks. I'm not gonna lie to you. Their defense sucks. Their midfield is pretty decent, and they are in a pretty tough group for them: Switzerland, Serbia, Brazil.
Yeah.
Things are not shaping up for Cameroon.
It's a tough one for Cameroon.
Hate to see it. So how do we think it goes? Brazil's coming in last, right?
Yeah, the number 1 team in the world.
Yeah.
He's coming in last, bro.
No goals.
You guys go first. What do you think?
This is how he does it. He has to assess kind of what the consensus is, and then he's like, okay, so they all have Brazil winning the group, which means I can't have that.
Go ahead, bro.
Okay. I think Brazil wins all their games. They should get 3 wins. So I think Brazil clears at 9 points. I think Cameroon does not win a single game. So I have them at 0 points. So this is where it gets interesting with Switzerland and Serbia. I have them both beating Cameroon, obviously, but I have them tying because I think, like we mentioned, it'll be one team's very good offense versus one team's very good defense. I think it kind of stalls. I think they kind of neutralize. So I have them tied at points 4-4, but I have Switzerland advancing because I think Switzerland's a better all-around team that they'll do better against Cameroon and lose by less to Brazil.
I think the exact same thing. I think like it's
Bro just plagiarized it. Like
he went to the discussion
Live.
post and he said, "Really good job on the post. I agree with everything."
people
you're
say
saying."
really good job.
Hit that
Damn.
50 word count.
You're
You
in
gotta
like
hit the word count.
You're in the top tier post.
Yeah,
You're in
you
the
gotta
top
throw
tier
that
discussions, bro. Mine are just like, "Hi, Rafael. I agree with everything you said. I
No,
really
but-
like how you."
Yeah.
And then boom.
I mean, I always sign it off with like, "Great post, Chris."
Nah, you're
Just
doing
to
Oh,
get
he's
the
writing it
word
like a
count.
letter.
He's
Yeah, I'm
Riz,
writing,
bro.
"Dear Connor O'Brien,
Dearest.
comma,
Bro has discussion.
you did an
Riz.
amazing job on your post. I really liked when you mentioned that."
Nice.
Nice.
I was hoping someone would finish the sentence.
Talk about my AI classes. No.
Yeah, Connor, you the same exact thing.
Yeah, use
Oh,
use the artificial intelligence to come up with a unique thought. All
I'm
right.
typing. Okay. So Brazil, I think, might have the highest goal differential in a World Cup group history.
Do you even know what it is?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
just saying, like,
Now we got.
I had to throw an
that. That
original
is
thought. What is the
that's
highest
a
goal differential
bold
in a group?
one. That is a bold one.
because I just think, like, I mean, I can see them beating Cameroon, like, not joking, like 8-0.
This is such a specific stat. I don't think it's even gonna show it.
What I think is going to happen is, like, Cameroon's not going to win a game. Serbia and Switzerland are both going to beat Cameroon, both lose to Brazil. And then they'll play each other tie, and then I think Serbia probably gets through in, like, goal differential. Because I think they at least can put, like, one back on, like, Brazil. Whereas, like, I think Brazil probably, like, shut out Switzerland. So I think goal differential, like, Brazil 1, on goal differential, Serbia gets through. And then Switzerland 3, Cameroon 4.
But yeah, my good old prediction. I think I'm gonna agree with Chris. Brazil clears the entire group. They're gonna. Do I agree with that? if they start off the World Cup against Serbia, I think that'll be the biggest match they'll have to play in the group stage. I think Brazil's just so iffy because they have so much expectation on them.
Yeah.
There's so much weight on their shoulders, and that can make them mess up. That's what I'm thinking. But taking that into account, I think they start off the World Cup. Oh, dude, this is so hard. Serbia, Switzerland, Cameroon. I think they beat Cameroon 100%. Brazil. It's the expectation thing, dude. All those players are just chokers. Jesus Christ, I don't even know what I want to say anymore. Brazil starts off the World Cup against Serbia. I think they will start with a win. They'll lose to Switzerland, and then they'll beat Cameroon. 6 points. Oh, God.
6 points. Okay, okay.
They beat Switzerland, right? So I'll do Switzerland so I don't get confused. Switzerland starts off their World Cup against Cameroon. Oh, God. You're going to beat Cameroon.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, you're going to beat Brazil, like I said.
Uh-huh.
They're going to lose to Serbia.
So tied on points with Brazil at 6 right now.
Yes, but Brazil will have goal differential, so.
Okay.
Okay. So
At this point, Serbia is going to beat Switzerland and beat Cameroon.
So it's
So you got 3 teams tied at 6 points.
No, bro. Chill.
so
No. Serbia. Relax, okay?
Okay.
Serbia's going to
Beat Switzerland.
lose to Brazil. They're going to lose to Cameroon. And they're going to... I forgot there's ties in this, okay? They're going to... Brazil versus Serbia. They're going to lose to Brazil. Then they're going to tie with Cameroon. And then... did I say they're going to beat Switzerland?
You said they're going to beat Switzerland.
Yeah, they're going to beat Switzerland. So that puts them on 4 points.
4 points. So it goes...
And then Cameroon will lose to Brazil, lose to
And
Switzerland.
they'll tie Serbia.
Switzerland and tie Serbia.
Oh.
So you still have Brazil 1, Serbia 2. Is that right?
Yeah.
Switzerland 3.
No.
No.
No,
No?
yeah, Switzerland.
Yeah,
too.
Switzerland
Yeah,
2.
Switzerland.
At
too.
6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then Serbia will have 4 points. And then Cameroon will have 1 point.
Okay.
Cool.
In the end, the result is the same. It's just about how they get there. So
Oh, wait. Does everyone have Brazil and Serbia going through?
I have Brazil and
Switzerland?
Switzerland.
I
He
want-
has Serbia.
I have Serbia.
Interesting.
Well.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's what group is this, bro? It's been so many. Group G. That's Group G. Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, Cameroon. I think Cameroon does have. I will admit that Cameroon does have the potential of upsetting everyone's prediction more than any other team. Like, I don't think Switzerland or Serbia have the potential to get first place, but their second place status is interchangeable. But I think Cameroon,
Cameroon is gonna crush someone's dreams.
Yeah, out of all the bottom 3, meaning like Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon has the most potential to upset than any of the other 2.
I agree. I think the difference is going to come from how Switzerland and Serbia do against Cameroon, not necessarily how they do against Brazil.
Yeah.
Because I think Brazil's wash. It'll be, do they not fumble against Cameroon, and then how much do they fumble?
I don't think Brazil will fumble whatsoever against Cameroon, but
That's what I'm saying.
they could against the European teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wraps up Group G in the World Cup, and we are headed for our last.
The journey is almost done.
The journey
We're
is
to the
almost
final.
done. The journey to like the beginning
Yeah, the journey to the start of the World Cup.
is almost done in our next episode, Group H. But that is all for Group G, alongside Chris Will and Connor O'Brien. My name is Rafael Dos Santos, and we will catch you next time.